How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the top 25 non-galactic legend character ranking for January 2024. I've been doing this. I did this all last year, every quarter. So every 3 months, I just take a look at what my opinion is of the top 25 characters in the game. No GLs because they are pretty obviously the top 8. I mean, there are arguments that one of them could be that one or two could be displaced by one character on this list, but I'm not going to really go into that now. But without further ado, let's get into the top 25, looking at 5 at a time. And you already see at the top there who is out from the last time I did this. And these characters were all in the 21 through 25 rank. We had Tarful, and I think everyone, including myself, knew he was destined to fall off after I stopped having such a hard time with him in Grand Arena without his Datacron. And I try to rank this aside from Datacrons, like I'm trying to just overall gauge their lasting place in the game. R2 fell off. I had him because of Leia, but I don't think he quite deserves to be in there with our new additions. And then Seer is still an amazing leader. Like, all these are top 50 characters. They're amazing. So maybe I need to start doing a top 50. I don't know. But here we go from 25 to 21. We got names mixed up. Boosh, Zori, Grand Inquisitor, Kelleran Beck, and Chewbacca. So Kelleran Beck, obviously the new kid on the block here, and he is, I think, clearly the best marquee required for Bo-Katan. Can even take the place of Qui-Gon Jinn. He's a territory war character that is still awesome in GAC. And that means a great deal to me because when you are working super well outside of your specialized Omicron area, you're just a really affordable character. You don't need any Omicrons to be amazing. So just because he's a territory war character doesn't mean I don't value him for Grand Arena. And this isn't just a Grand Arena ranking, but I do think Grand Arena is the most important. I do account for everything. That's why you'll see some Grand Arena only characters lower than I might be doing if I was just doing a Grand Arena ranking. Boosh is the right-hand woman to Jabba, makes that team run without her. She's the only truly indispensable one. Her and Chris Hanton, probably, but without her, the machine doesn't work. The bombs aren't out there and they don't get going, so she deserves top 25. Zori, too. I mean, I feel like Zori's falling off a little bit for me towards the end of the game. But she's amazing, really fast. It's like if you get her early in the game, she's going to do a lot of stuff for you. Grand Inquisitor, he's fallen for. I mean, he's mainly a support unit to Reva at this point. He does have his own ship, though, which is amazing, and that also helps bump him up. But a lot of people would just give all the credit to Reva, and I don't think that's completely merited without Grand Inquisitor. Try Reva without Grand Inquisitor, not quite as threatening. And then Chewbacca, he's a mainstay. He still belongs to the top 25. He only got knocked down 1 from the last time I did this. He's amazing. I think he has the least impact out of Han and CLS. You need all 3 of them in a team to make it amazing. And then Han and Chewie together can be amazing. I don't know. Just what he brings is so valuable. Like, being on top 25 at all is a huge accomplishment. So he is still fantastic. Moving on, we're going to the top 16 through 20. And in order, they are CLS, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, Aphra, Traya, and Rex. So obviously, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon is new, and I'll talk about him in a second. But first, why do Aphra, Traya, and Rex fall by 2 spots? It's just because there's 2 brand new characters that weren't in the game before this, or like weren't usable or accessible. And they came in and they were higher. So that's it. Like, Aphra, Traya, and Rex are in the same order they were in. 1, 2, then 3 in relation to each other. I still think Captain Rex is just insane. One of the most versatile characters in the game. Look at his tags: Rebel, Rebel Fighter, Phoenix, Clone Trooper. No one else, like, who else has that much breadth of applicability? People put him on a gas team, they'll put him on a Leia team, they put him on a Phoenix team, which is what I usually like to do. You can put him anywhere, and that AoE days is going to be crippling, and his unique is fantastic. But yeah, he's amazing in every game mode, especially Grand Arena, but just amazing everywhere. Makes Reva look like, I don't know, a kindergartner. Like, when you take him in with that Phoenix team, it's crazy. And they were nothing before him. So he still well deserves his spot. Freya is bumped up this high just because of her Grand Arena impact, and she is prevented from being higher by her lack of applicability in a lot of other areas of the game. People tell me she's good in Proving Grounds, or some of them. I'll have to take them at face value because I never get to play Proving Grounds. So 19 feels like a good spot for her. Afra is more of the lackluster legacy type characters. Right now, she's on steroids because of her Datacron, but I'm not going to take that into account. It's just, aside from that, I don't lose faith in her. Like, if we don't have this specific counter available to attack Jabba or Sith Eternal Emperor with that Datacron, she's back to taking on Zori's, which was her old job, and Zori is like 6 ranks lower than her, so I don't know. Just not making an argument to push higher in just a general sense. And Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, some people are probably going to scream this is overrated. I don't think so. 17, he is, just like Kelleran Beck, he's one of those Territory War Omicron characters that is amazing outside of his specific game mode. I put him against like any non-GLT. Like, yes, I was trying to make him work against Jabba a lot at the beginning. He's actually working better with the new Datacron now against Jabba. It's crazy. But you just put him up against any like A tier, B tier team, and he just demolishes it. He's like a LeBron James where you alley-oop to him in the vicinity, anywhere in the vicinity of the basket. Like, don't have to do it perfect. He's just going to grab it and dunk it. Like, you can be so sloppy with this team and it still dominate. Like, I went up against a Qui-Gon, even with Kelleran Beck, killed Qui-Gon, so Anakin had this huge boost. The AoEs, one character dies, the rest of them don't seem phased, and then he just brings him back. Like, he has 100% crit avoidance, just flat. Like, it's hard. How do you kill him? Like, on defense, yes, he is vulnerable to Radis, but Radis, like, it can get even kind of scary sometimes. He's just such a strong offensive character, and then in Territory War, I haven't even used him because I haven't applied that Omicron. But it's just a whole nother level. It's scary. He is incredible. And then CLS, he could even go maybe above CLS, because CLS is really dependent on his team. That's what puts him down. But his team overall is amazing, and he is the leader that makes it work. Yes, so you can run like Dash and Han and Chewie under Dash or something and make it work. But CLS is still overall the strongest team that they go on. But like, I can't have him in like top 10 or top 15, because if you put him on his own, it's not really quite as impressive as it may have been at one point. But still an incredible character, and that is the 16 through 20. Now we have rank 11 through 15. In order, we got Jedi Knight Luke, Bo-Katan Mandalore, Jedi Knight Revan, Han, and Watt. So similar to Afra, Trey, and Rex going down 2, Revan, Han, and Watt went down 1 for me just because Bo-Katan got shoved in there. I don't know exactly where she's going to fall after it's all said and done. I really need to get my hands on a character to have a good sense of her. She seems more like an offense-only character. Her Datacron's going to be crazy. It's just hard. Like, I don't want to put her too low. I feel like this might be a little high, but then again, she beats Lord Vader. But on defense, she's kind of vulnerable to random stuff. I actually won a Grand Arena because my opponent had her and tried her on Lord Vader, and that was my only hold, and that was enough to get me the win. And then talking to Kin last night, he lost a match because he used Bo-Katan on Lord Vader. So I don't know. I think after it's all said and done, she will settle in somewhere in the top 15. I just felt like, yeah, she has more. She can beat. If you try to put like a Jedi Knight Revan team against her, you're probably gonna lose. Or like a CLS, I don't know if CLS beats her actually, but just head to head, that's why I put her higher. So I don't know. I'm just kind of like, honestly, I'm kind of guessing where she goes. She goes somewhere in the top 15, I believe. But Watt, super impactful. Just, he's like the only character I can think of where you just throw him on any team and can make it work somehow, even after his huge nerf. And Conquest, super useful. I haven't been talking too much about Conquest in this ranking, but super important game mode, and he just makes so many things work that wouldn't work otherwise. Can turn any tank into a perma-taunting tank and help protect the rest of your team, keep people alive. So stay in Rey forever with a med pack, so she can only just heal people up. Plenty of ways to stall out with him in Conquest, and then in Grand Arena Territory War. Really impactful. A trench team without him is obviously terrible, but he's the lifter unit to several Galactic Legends at times. Slicker, I don't know. And then Han, I talk about it every time, like, going first is always going to be amazing. Like, stun someone. There's there's usually some kind of datacron that applies to him. He's a rebel, a smuggler, and a scoundrel. And the proliferation, like having a lot of tags, is not to be like overlooked. This is something we don't talk about a lot, but like having a bunch of different tags means you're more likely to have a specific datacron set that applies to you. Just like who is it? CLS getting the unaligned force user tag, that was a big boost too. Like if he's just a rebel, it's hard for him. Like he doesn't have as many options. But I think that's great too. Giant Revan, a lot of times he stays in where I'm playing. He's just playing second fiddle to someone that's better, like JML a lot. But his utility as Kit is just, I don't know. It brought in a new era of Galaxy of Heroes, and he's still not outdated. He set the standard. The turn meter swap, the cooldown increase, the mark, the stun, the mass assist, the savior. It's all amazing, and it's all amazing everywhere. He's not an Omicron character, and some of these OG characters have a lot of leverage over the newer characters just because they don't rely on Omicrons for things. And then last that I need to address is Jedi Knight Luke falling down a bit. He's not his own team, I think, is the reason why I knocked him out of the top 10 to make room for someone else. But he is this high because he's amazing. His damage, his survivability, the AoE stuns, his use for the assault battle, he makes it trivially easy. Like the AoE stun is so important, and the irresistible AoE stun is so important in controlling so many teams. So he definitely merits top 11. It's just I don't have him top 10 because he is not the driving force really behind any of his teams. So that's really my thought process, and that is 11 through 15. Now things are really starting to come to a head because we have rank 6 through 10 with a couple changes. No brand new characters in the top 10, but I did give Jedi Knight Cal a bump from 11 to 9. So that that displaced JKL from the top 10 and moved Darth Revan down one. Maybe Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Luke are tough. They're both so incredible. But I feel I am more scared of Darth Revan if I see him on defense than Jedi Knight Luke. And they both have a similar attribute in that they can take the whole other team out of commission for a turn. Darth Revan with his AoE Fear, Jedi Knight Luke with his AoE Stun. Revan's is more vulnerable to that because it can go away if you just damage them. But he still is an amazing character. Got a great kit. And 3 of these top 6 through 10 are on the same team, Sith Empire. And that might make you want to argue that they don't all belong in top 10. However, every single one of these is a massive threat. And I forgot it is noteworthy that Malgus fell out the top 5. So there is that. But all 3 of these characters together are extremely problematic on their own. If you put Darth Revan and just give him like Bastila and I don't know, even HK or something, he can make something happen, mainly just on offense. If you're looking at end game, early game, that's going to be still fearsome no matter what. Malik, you throw him on literally any team and he's going to cause problems, like getting fear just for touching him. He's semi-immortal. Like if you don't have the right stuff, if you're like a early game player and you don't have the right things, it's like you just can't kill him. Like it's just insane. Put him anywhere on any Sith team, even non-Sith teams. People run him with Rey. So it's just ridiculous plug and play viability just because of that fear mechanic. And then Malgus, like he does go ahead of both of them just because of his overall viability in the most important game mode. He's like really hard to kill if you don't have the right stuff. You either need like an insta kill, massive damage from characters, or like a shatter point mechanic where you're whittling him down over time. So he is just a tank. He's just a force to be reckoned with. And then Starkiller, this is the same rank he was at last time. So I just knocked him out of the top 5 because he is mainly just Grand Arena focused with those Omicrons. Territory War, he is propped up by another character's Omicron, but like I still kind of hold that against him. He just loses so much out of Grand Arena. And in Grand Arena, some of his value has been diminished. I mean, like, it's hard for him to handle Rey now. And that was like kind of his claim to fame, that he was able to handle Galactic Legends. But it's been a while since I have felt comfortable taking him against a Rey. And then Jedi Knight Cal, just, like, the longer I have him, is just so nice, so valuable. He's kind of stupid on defense, so it's like you don't use him on defense. But he make like if you look at counters of Jedi, even like Jedi Master Luke versus things, with him versus without him, it's just night and day. It's like a 15 to 20% difference all the time. Always brings things to like a 90% chance. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He's like another Jedi Knight Revan. Like he does so many things that Jedi Knight Revan does, and even that he can't do. I mean, the turn meter swap or the granting a bonus turn is one thing that's amazing. He works well with Revan because Revan just swaps turns right back to him. The insta-kill is the biggest thing everyone thinks of, which is obviously super valuable. Armor Shred, what he does with the spinning attack where he swaps the turn, he reduces enemies' damage, their offense, by like 2 times whatever his stacks are. So if he has 20 or 30 stacks of whatever that thing is, I don't know what it's called, insiders. That's Moff Gideon, but it's like he nerfs their damage by 60%. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's so strong. The problem on defense is he doesn't swap to different stances well enough, and he never builds up his stacks. But then also Armor Shred, he can daze, he hits everybody. Dispel on basic. He's just so great. I cannot stop at singing his praises. He could go even higher. The only thing, like, if he could be placed on defense and play semi, like, intelligently, he would definitely go probably top 5. Like, it's incredible. I think that's all I have to say about this 6 through 10. I did my discussion on Sith Empire, and then Starkiller Wise not there. But yeah, now we're coming to the absolute cream of the crop. And I got to move myself out of the way to make room for these, ladies and gentlemen. And here it is. Reva, Gas, Cat, Maul, and Malicos. So Maul and Malicos each getting bumped up. I had Maul in the top 5 last time I did this video. But Malicos made the new appearance, and he is kind of like the new Starkiller for me. I mean, they're both Ufus. They both can manhandle Rey. Even with ridiculous defense datacrons, I was able to manhandle Rey in Grand Arena. And his only downside is he's reliant on Grand Arena Omicrons. That's it. Like, even outside of Grand Arena, he's still crazy. Like, in one of my territory wars, I mean, I put him in the thumbnail. I just, like, I'm drawn to using him in the thumbnail. Just, I don't know, that hobo look always gets me. But, like, the rock throw, it was doing like 200,000 damage in Territory War, not even Grand Arena. It's bonkers. It's ridiculous. And I lost a whole Grand Arena because someone set him with Reva. So Reva was required for this. Reva and Supreme Leader Kylo. But he adds a lot to the team. He has like a savior mechanic for unaligned Force users. He has crit immunity to everyone, which is a huge deal. That is such a pain in the butt. And then just the massive damage, like an extra stat boost. He flips key debuffs into ridiculous buffs. So he flips any days. He flips healing immunity into damage immunity. It's like, it's so strong. And I think that part's not even in Grand Arena. So like there's viability outside of Grand Arena. The damage is the huge selling point, but he also has just such a rich kit that impacts every area. So he has an argument to even go a little higher over time. And General Skywalker is still really high. I toyed with the idea of putting Cat over him, just knocking him down a little bit. But he still has huge viability in every game mode. It's not Omicron dependent. He can beat GLs. He could beat Rey in Territory War. I don't know if it's going to work in Grand Arena because of how the bed mechanics work. Probably would. Because he prevents revives, but like just so many valuable things on his kit, preventing revives, decreasing max health, AoE days, increasing cooldowns, revive prevention, just so much stuff. And he's still he lifts a team that's not that great otherwise, like 5 of First clones without him. Shock T, yeah, they're decent, but I don't know, he's at the absolute star of the show. Reva, we already know what she does. She demolishes plenty of GLs. She's the only one on this list where there's high confidence that her team can beat multiple Galactic Legends, like multiple. She is vulnerable on defense to Phoenix, and that's really the big problem because it's a really cheap counter. But if you commit to taking her on offense, Jedi Master Kenobi, Supreme Leader Kylo, probably Sith Eternal. I don't know. I haven't really tried that one, but like so much stuff. And you put her with Lord Vader, make that team even more of a pain in the butt. She has 3 lives, and like the first 2 of them, she has one of the best buffs in the game, Hatred, plus 100% offense and defense. Just insane. It's just crazy. And then Cat, her stat boost, her insta-kill, she lets Padme beat Jedi Master Kenobi. So you put her, like, she is what makes the Jedi Master Kenobi team the biggest threat it is, with that cooldown reduction immediately. But even on Padme team, like, it's still incredible. Like, if I had her Cat, if I could pick to get one without the other, I'd pick Cat to have without Jedi Master Kenobi. So she is fantastic. Is pushing number 2. But like she hasn't changed in forever. It's like just my perceptions or how I view things, how she interplays with the rest of the game that can change things. And then Maul, like he goes up 1. Just because the dark side Mandalorians seem to be more and more impactful, and he is just, he can go everywhere. I mean, he's only a Mandalorian and an online force user, so there's only 2 main tags, but that can go in so many places. He leads his own Mandalorian team. You can put him with a Seer team in Malicos, and that's like the safest way to take on a Rey. So he's just really strong there. And then Lord Vader is really, can't really do much on defense without him. And then on offense, like, I don't know, he makes Lord Vader a more reliable Java counter. So many things he does. The mass swarm mechanics, it's super valuable in things like Conquest, when you have like the raid data discs and stuff. So he is super versatile. And like it kills me in roster reviews when I see someone that has him and isn't like using him in any way. It's kind of painful. Yes, you need to build up one of those teams that might be less common from like prior teams you had or that you haven't developed yet. But he's still well worth every piece of gear and every relic you put on him. I have him at Relic 9. I mean, characters I have at Relic 9 are Maul, Gas. I don't have Malgus, Malik, and Darth Revan required. But yeah, that shows something about his value that I chose to invest that to. And that is the whole top 25. And at the end, I always show some honorable mentions because everyone is always saying, oh, you didn't include this character or that character. And this is getting kind of out of hand. It's getting kind of bloated. Like, there's so many amazing characters. Let me know if you want me to switch it to a top 50. Might be a little bit more work and harder to, like, digest for people, but... And I might have to, like, glaze over things a little bit faster, but, like, I could give the right due to everyone here. This is not an exhaustive list. This is not a rank 26 through 50, even though there's, like, about 25 characters here. So don't take this as what it would be if I was 26 through 50. I just throw people on here if I'm like, yeah, I thought about them, but some of them are so far, like, they were honorable mentions such a long time ago that I don't really consider them an honorable mention. Like Beskar Mando probably wouldn't have as an honorable mention. Dark Trooper probably wouldn't. Yoda probably wouldn't. I don't know. But yeah, let me know if you want top 50 or not. But before we go, one last look at the top 25 for January 2024. Let me know what you think. I'm sure people have their disagreements. And let me know if you enjoy this series so I keep doing it. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you later.